three,
Okay.
go.
Okay, we're at the Corporate Social Media Summit 2010 in New York City with Marshall Sponder, who is webmetricsguru.com. Okay, Marshall joined the summit today to actually do a panel. He moderated a panel called Social Media Metrics, and it was a very popular panel because everyone wants to know about social media metrics, but no one knows.
Mm-hmm.
So, Marshall, we would love to know, first of all, what it is that you do, because most people don't even know what web metrics, even in companies.
Well, I analyze online traffic and conversation as well as web analytics traffic and other types of traffic, and give an analysis of buzz, online buzz, and how its impact on the site.
Okay.
So you are really vital then to us understanding what the numbers mean and what we're
Yeah,
doing.
I would say so.
Yeah, I'm right. Well, well, that's great. What are some of the challenges then? Well, before we even go into that, I just want to know why you came to this conference.
I was invited to by Nick Johnson.
Oh.
Thank you.
Awesome. And what are some of the challenges? Because your panel was very interesting in that you did present some of the challenges in web metrics. Across corporate social media, what do you see as being the biggest challenge right now in metrics?
Well, I mean, there's two main ones. The first one I could speak in terms of PR is the different vocabulary and culture between account teams and the actual analytics and what they can provide. There just seems to be a real disconnect. I'm not sure how long that's going to take to, or if it's even possible to totally bridge it, but I think that that's one. The other thing is in the tools themselves. They're not really analytics tools in the same way that web analytics tools are, and they don't have any standardization in terms of the data they collect and how it's crawled and how it's categorized and how it is rated for sentiment. So the results are really totally dependent on the query and the analyst, and for many people that are impossible to replicate. So that in many ways, it's more of a participative process where you get more out of it the more you put into it. But many people don't understand that because they think they're getting charts and graphs and can measure it to a level of precision that really today doesn't exist.
Right.
So how then does you heard these corporations and you work with companies and you do this for big corporations. Where do you think we are in terms of solving, for example, that second problem that you have, that we have?
I think we're 3 to 5 years away from a good solution to it. I think we need like a large standards body like the IAB or some other similar one to get involved with working groups to standardize engagement metrics, to define what sentiment is and how it would be measured, to define. And I think I see the same problems in just any kind of display advertising across sites. I think there's just a lot of room where data gets represented differently depending on who you are, and a lot of platforms even pull the same thing, the same term for a different thing. And it just seems as if people are in a tower. We're in a Tower of Babel right now, where we're really not able to close the gap so easily, and it's getting wider in some ways. So,
Really?
yeah.
That's interesting. 3 to 5 years, that's a long time.
But funny because the getting the standards out, getting enough of an agreement on major players would require fortuitous circumstances. Greg Stewart was a speaker at one of my former New York Data Stories meetups, and he was the head of the IAB for about 5 years until I think 2007 or 2008, and it took them 5 years to get the display banner advertising standards under wraps, and that only happened for fortuitous circumstances. So I'm feeling even this 3 to 5 years, I think, is optimistic.
Wow, interesting. And what did you hear from the conference? I mean, you've been here both days. What did you hear from the Corporate Social Media Summit that gave you some hope, if any?
Not so much anything that people said here as much as who was here. As I brought out yesterday, that I don't think what we're really seeing so much is anything that anyone said here is going to help you. Most of the people, the panelists who were here, did give out some good information that was balanced, and there was some details to it, but fundamentally there wasn't anything particularly new I heard there, but it was good and in-depth. It was more who is coming here for me. It's a middle level of management, and the fact that Nick could get this many to show up, and the fact that I felt like I was in London, Canary Wharf, going to this conference here in New York, made me feel as if the conference was successful in so far as it got involvement from more corporate social media management that's kind of closer to the mid to top level of the food chain of the CMOs. And so in that sense, I think it shows that the mid-management to upper management are beginning to grapple with the same problems, and that would suggest a solution down the line.
That is great, and we should actually leave on that. That's a great note, and it
Absolutely.
says the essence of the conference is that, corporations are listening. And so thank you so much, Marshall.
Thank
We
you,
loved
everybody.
your panel.
Yeah, thank
Ciao.
you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.